Receive a no-obligation quote on any creative project you may be considering. Take a look at some of their many services on the web at DetroitRockCityPromotions.com or call at 810-627-9773. Again, that number is 810. It's the show that educates, not eradicates. It's the only show that's NAGA approved. It's the Beating Drum with your host, Farmer and Paso.
Welcome back to the Beating Drum on Radio AFS, blogtalk.com. We're going to get to our callers here real quick, Steve. We're going to activate the line. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Our phone screener is out sick, so we're going to light up the lines. If you want to talk, please talk. If not, just say I'm just listening. But we're going to activate the mic for the phone number starting with 703-845. You are live with Farmer and Steve. How are we doing tonight?
Hello, this is Denise Patton calling in.
Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you? I've been listening. It's very interesting.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. And how are you doing this fine evening, ma'am?
Well, tonight I just returned home from a Fairfax County school board meeting where colleagues and friends of mine were participating in testifying against the name change they want to impose upon us with our high school.
Oh, no. I believe I've been reading about this. I signed a petition and shared it on my Facebook page. It's also going on the Beating Drum page. Tell us what's going on with that.
Well, they want to eliminate the name JEB Stuart High School. Of course, JEB Stuart was quite a famous cavalry officer of the Civil War, and he was very famous for his Quaker gun military deception at Munson Hill, which is where the school is located. So the proximity to the place, the famous military deception, it all falls into place. That's why the school was named JEB Stuart. But some revisionists in the community, and particularly some students egged on by a teacher, have started a campaign to change the name. And the insidious thing is that a student survey, 60% of the students said no, and in a Fairfax County school survey to the community, only 35%, after 1 year, only 35% of the public said yes. So overwhelmingly nobody wants it, but our school board member went ahead and proposed a resolution that will be voted on July 28th to create a working group to change the name.
Just like that. Just
like that. It was an end run. Did not like the results, and so just go ahead anyway.
That is crazy. And I'm reading here the school board would have to spend roughly, am I reading this right? That has a 1 and a whole lot of zeros after it. Like $1 million?
They're estimating fundraising for up to $700,000, but by the time you add in all the accompanying things that would have to change, like, booster clubs would have to fundraise for uniforms and different things like that, it would be closer to $1 million. And apparently the scuttlebutt is that the school board member believes that the Hollywood people who have been championing this name change are going to find a way to fundraise for it.
This is just asinine. When will this stop? And it seems like Jeb Stuart, he gained positive reputation from both sides of the war. So,
well, Jeb, not only that, but his military deception is still studied in war colleges today. And the British in World War II named their American-made tanks, the M3 and the M5, after Stuart. They also used a lot of Stuart-like deceptions in World War II, and to me the most fascinating was learning about the Ghost Army, and the inflatable tanks and all these things that they used to fool the Nazis and make them think that we had more than we did. And that was the type of deception that Stuart used at Munson Hill. It was a camp. And he painted logs black and used wagon wheels and made them look like cannons, and then he built all these bonfires and marched his troops. And the Union troops were literally up in balloons looking down, trying to figure out what was going on. And he was able to keep them at bay long enough for the Confederates then to get themselves ready in Manassas. So Munson Hill, we are 8 miles outside of Washington, D.C. Munson Hill, the Union, the proximity, this is our history. And now they want to take it away from us.
They're trying to whitewash it. I'm going to use the whitewash word again.
Well, that's a tricky word here. We're saying erase.
It is, yes. I understand.
The Washington
I could say brown
Post.
wash. I could say, here we go. It's a color
The
wash.
The Washington Post actually used the word airbrush in an October 2015 editorial. They wrote against changing the name. They definitely do not, the Washington Post definitely does not want to see this happening. It's incredible that there are people who just want to revise history according to what they believe instead of looking at the facts. And what's really missing, and the point that Washington Post editorial made, was context. Historical context is extremely important.
I have a question before you go any further.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Steve, by the way. So your community spoke out and said that they are against doing away with the name. Student body has said they do not want to change the name. Your community has said they do not want to change the name. Yet your school board has already decided that they're going to try to change the name anyway.
Our school board member has posed a resolution that will be voted on the 28th of July, and she is aiming to change the name. It's a personal agenda, and the NAACP has become involved, and they're supporting it now, too.
They're supporting changing the name.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they are.
Of course.
Because they want to do away with every bit of historical relevance to anything pre-1900.
Well, this is
they don't want to talk
national political agenda that they're doing all over the country.
Of course.
Correct.
They want to they want to do away with all of our history.
Right. Because, Denise, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, there are also 7 schools. I've been following this very closely because, as you know, the Beating Drum is primary here for the Native American schools, the Redskins, and everything else like that. But we're a voice for the people. And, we're not mainstream by any means. So, a mainstream pocketbook cannot change my opinion. And when somebody wants to change something or color wash our history, it pees me off. And I have been told that there are also 7 other schools in the great state of Texas that are also attacked or being under attack by the by that particular group.
Well, it's not lost on us that if we can prevail and keep our name, that it may help these other places as well. Because revisionism is very insidious, and just as the speaker before was saying, you lose your culture, you lose your heritage. Jeb Stuart High School is about 80% of the school are classified as minorities. And the students, when they took the survey and they were given other options for names for the school, they said no. So the school board member and the school board, we're hearing them saying, well, we're concerned about how the minorities feel. Well, hello. 80% of the school are minorities, and 60% of the school said no. So the majority of the minorities have spoken. And this is a very diverse school. We have a lot of Hispanics, and there's a lot of English as second language. There's a lot of TLC given to them to get them up to speed and teach them English. And the community survey was also conducted in Spanish, English, and Arabic, and they still said no. And the survey did not even tell them what the cost of it was going to be. This is my beef with the survey. I think if they had told people in the survey it was going to cost $700,000 or more, there would have been even more people saying no. So the school board member did not like the results of the survey. She revealed this at a May 23rd community meeting at the high school itself. They gave the results. Everybody thought, okay, fine, the name's not going to change. The rest of the evening, they divided the people into groups and asked them to sit around and select names.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong about Jeb Stuart. He fought. He's a hero with the union. He even fought to set up a free government in Kansas against the pro-slave forces?
Yeah, he was sent out to Kansas in the whole that whole period of history. That area in Kansas was known as Bleeding Kansas. Jeb Stuart